We do. We do. This is Coogan Cassius for iFILM London. We're at the Grosvenor House Hotel again.
Getting boring now.
Again. Think of another venue next time. For iFILM London, with me I've got promoter for MATCHROOM Sports. Is that what you trade as, sport or boxing?
M. Promotions. No, MATCHROOM Sport Limited.
Okay.
Check us out at Company's House.
Well, I've got better things to do with my time.
Oh, like what? Eat Haribos.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Another new signing. You're generally excited about this one, aren't you, Lee Selby? You're excited about all of them, but
Yeah.
Lee Selby, from your words in the press conference, can go on to be a world champion.
Yeah, I mean, the last three signings we've made, George Groves, Ricky Burns, Lee Selby, this one perhaps excites me the most. Not just because of the talent, but because of the work we've got to do on Lee Selby. Speak to anyone in boxing who knows their boxing in the UK, they'll tell you how good Lee Selby is and what a talent he is. Speak to the casual boxing fan or even the sporting fan, they may not have heard of Lee Selby. So we've got to build him, we've got to find out more about him. I'm going to go for a bit of lunch with him now, find out what he likes, what music he likes, what sports he likes, what he does in his spare time. You know, and we've got to try and find a way to make people know more about Lee Selby. But he's got that kind of style that when they do find out about Lee Selby, they're going to watch him again and again and again.
An influential fight in Lee Selby's career to date was probably the knockout of Stephen Smith, because he went in that fight as an underdog and, like I said, beat Stephen Smith, and then from there he has excelled, hasn't he?
I remember watching that fight with Stephen Smith, and I didn't really know a lot about Lee Selby, and I watched the fight and I thought, Stephen Smith, who I rate very highly, I thought, you know, he must win this fight. It's in Liverpool, and Selby just, I mean, we saw the end result, but from then on I just thought, wow, he can really fight. And speaking to people, I don't know, Adam Booth, Ed Robinson, Dave Cole, but everyone says he's phenomenal. And Chris Saniger's always told me this kid's got unbelievable talent. And really, the night in Belfast, I mean, obviously we had the disappointment with the first fight falling through on the day of the fight because Lee was ill, but against Martin Lindsay, who is, was our boy on the night, I just remember standing in the ring and I watched Lee walk out to some, youngsters tune, let's just say, a bit of hip hop and all that stuff, old chap, and with a gown on, and he's got swag, and I just thought, this is going to be a tough fight. And I watched it from the front row, and he was phenomenal. And he didn't even say he boxed well. Chris said he didn't even think he boxed that well, but he won every round, and Lindsay's a class act. I think there's so many more levels to come from someone like Lee Selby, and I think once you make him feel like a superstar, you're going to see more and more and more. And I'm so excited. I think this is a massive signing. Already British and Commonwealth champion, but I think we're going to go and get that European belt, and I think he'll win a world title within 12 months.
Your stable's growing as each day passes.
You seem a bit flat today.
Why? I'm trying to talk to you.
Your stable's growing, I mean, if you...
Your stable is growing.
That's right, yeah.
Your stable is...
I do it like that thing before.
Your stable is growing, Eddie.
Yeah. Yes.
Every day, each day passes. Are you worrying that, you're going to get to a point where can you actually satisfy all your fighters?
I'm not worrying about that because that is something that is hugely important to me. I plan, I budget, I know exactly what I'm doing. At the moment we're okay, probably one or two more signings, and then we may have to close up shop or get some more dates, and that's something that we'll be discussing with Sky. We're building an incredible team here, I mean, look at our stable now, we're #1 by a mile. But we have to deliver for them. It's no good just signing fighters and then leaving them on the shelves and, people start complaining they're not boxing enough. That'll never happen because I'll make sure it won't. And anyone who we've got's just got to understand that having a bigger team gives you more power, and it lets you open up more doors with broadcasters, with sponsors, even with other promoters. You saw Alexander against Kell Brook paved the way for Broner against Reese with Golden Boy. So things are great, and if you're a matchroom fighter right now, you've had it off basically. I mean, you've got a great team of people working for you round the clock, and you've got a great platform in Sky Sports, and we're going to do everything we can to maximise your career, take you to the top, give you every opportunity to fulfil your potential, and if you work hard enough, we're going to have a great journey.
You still don't have a heavyweight or a cruiserweight in your rankings. Is this something that we can expect to see in the coming weeks?
Maybe, people on Twitter keep saying to me, you need a heavyweight, well, we need the right heavyweight, we just don't just need a heavyweight, we've had discussions with a few heavyweights at the moment, a couple which I'd like to sign. The deal's got to be right, not just for them but for us.
Any conversations with Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, we've spoken. I mean, I know Anthony well. We get on well. I wouldn't say we're in deep negotiations or anything like that, but I think you'll see Anthony turn pro in the summer, probably. I think he's ready now to make that move. He had a foot operation, and it doesn't mean we're going to get him. You know, I mean, there'll be all kinds of people coming in for Anthony Joshua. If he's going to stay in the UK, I think he'll go with us. If he's going to go into America, I think he'll go with Golden Boy. But all these guys, Campbell, Joshua, they need to stay in the UK. I believe it's so important. This is where they're from. This is where their fan base is going to be. This is the place that you'll grow them the quickest. And I'm not saying don't go to America for a bit of experience. That you should, but really this is where they need to base themselves. And there's a lot of things they have to consider: the money, the signing on, and signing on fees. It's difficult because I'm not a big believer in signing on fees for a fighter, because I think sometimes it can dampen their ambition. We've seen it before. You know, you need to be hungry. That's why Lee Selby's going to be such a great fighter. He's had nothing easy. He's fought small halls, non-TV shows. He's fought in people's backyards. He's fought for small money, average money, but he's hungry. And sometimes when you're a pro and someone says, "Wallop, there's $1 per money," how are you going to get up every morning and go to the gym with the same hunger and desire of when you need it real bad? You know, and these celebrity shows and all that kind of stuff is great, but sometimes they're thinking, "I mean, 50 grand for that. I'm not going through a 12-week camp and getting punched in the face for less money." It's difficult. So I once said to Cal Yafai, of the GB setup, you know, what I like is I like the ones who got not kicked out, but I sometimes like the ones that didn't make the grade, because I think they're the ones with the hunger and desire as a pro. Not saying the ones that did make it don't have the hunger and desire, but it's almost like when you go, you know, you say you went down Battersea Dog's Home and you walked in, you said, "I'd like to buy a dog," you know. This is what I said to Cal Yafai. He didn't like it at first, but once I explained it a little bit better, I said, and they say, "Oh, we've got the poodles over there, the thoroughbreds," and you go over and you have a look and they're all going, you know, and then you hear some noise down there, some barking, and you say, "What's that down there?" And they go, "Oh, that's just the mongrels," you know. And you go down there and they go, "Arr, arr." They're the ones I want. Do you understand? So Yafai said to me, "So you're calling me a mongrel?" I said, "No, I'm just trying to put it into context." But do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah, basically you're signing the fighters that nobody wants.
No, I'm signing the ones that have had a little bit of rejection at an amateur level. I'm talking about the ones that didn't make the Olympics. So of course everybody wants them. You donut.
I know what you mean.
I understand. Sometimes you've got more desire when you've had knockbacks. Like you know, imagine all the bits of crumpet you got knockbacks from over the years. It's made you hungrier to try and nick a bit, you know, and probably more effective as well. Because imagine when you started out. I've seen some of your pictures. I've seen your passport photo as well. You were a little Herbert, really, and you must have had so many knockbacks growing up as a teenager. But actually, it's made you more effective in nightclubs. You know, it's probably made you feel a little bit more attractive in time, where all of a sudden now you can go out and nick a bit.
April the 20th.
Sometimes your lip quivers a little bit sometimes. I don't know whether that's because you're about to chin me or something, but it's like,
I'm infatuated by you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
All right, Coogie Bear.
Yeah. April the 20th, Blackpool.
Yeah.
This is where you just said in the press conference that you're going to make an offer to Joe Murray to fight Lee Selby.
Yeah, I don't want to make something clear about it. I'm not saying, "Oh right, let's call out Joe." I'm just saying that for me, that's a really good opponent.
I'm surprised you actually just said that in the press conference, though, because you haven't done it yet. And
No, I just said no because I said thinking out loud about opponents, Joe Murray, someone like that. I think that would be a good fight for Lee Selby. I know Joe Murray hasn't had the activity he wants. There's a chance for him to take that. I don't want to I'm not one of those, "Hey, if you're watching, Joe, come." No, but I'm just saying that's a good fight. Joe Murray's a really good fighter. So's Lee Selby. I just think that's a good fight.
It's all over Twitter now, by the way, about
it?
Joe Murray. Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Hopefully he accepts.
Done. After the press conference the other day, there was a media statement sent out by Frank Warren with his intentions to sue Ricky Burns for substantial damages. Can I have your thoughts on this, please?
Played out exactly the way I thought it would play out. You know, I've seen the letter of termination, and if I was Ricky Burns, I'd be very, very confident in my position. You know, and the truth will come out. If we get down the line and this goes through, the truth will come out. Hopefully, maybe they can solve it amicably. I doubt it, but you know, I've seen the letter, and it, you know, if the contents of that letter are true, it could be very interesting.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
It does answer my question. This is not really for me to make comment on, to be honest. It was because it was a media statement that Frank Warren Promotions had put out, which was obviously available to everyone to read.
Yeah.
So it becomes an issue.
My answer to the question is, I knew that was going to happen, and that was the obvious thing that was going to happen, because you can't be seen to admit defeat or admit someone's right for leaving you unless, you know. Anyway, but
we'll see
how that one plays out.
Is the future plan for Lee? Obviously, you want to build him in Wales. I know he's not from Cardiff, but he said, you know, start off in Cardiff, possibly Selby and Rees double-heading a show.
Well, that will be the double header for June the 15th,
right.
And we'll look at the Crawler and Matthews fight for Rees. I don't think Derry could fight Gavin again. He's boxed him twice, but if Crawler beat Derry, that's a good fight for me. Crawler against Rees for Gavin's comeback fight. You know, Kevin Mitchell, perhaps. You know, and people talking about already, Rees against Burns. You know, and that's not in my mind at the moment. If Gavin comes back with some decent wins down the line, maybe that could be a big domestic fight. But I'm not looking at that fight at the moment. But June the 15th in Cardiff will be a Rees and Selby doubleheader.
All right. Tell your Matchroom media boys to stop taking our ideas of everything. Genius ideas.
Like what? I don't see anyone walking around with a beard and a hat on and dodgy clobber.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, listen, if Matt Rich is watching, he'll know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this.
Oh, what, just because we got a Matchroom mic? That's fucking revolutionary, that is.
I'm not saying that, but you specifically.
How'd you come up with that?
I'm not taking credit for coming up. I created
no,
this.
You you saw one on
well,
some other interview.
Why did you ask
Because
them?
I'm taking the piss at you, but you know, I mean, how can you accuse us of copying that?
You have.
When
it's exactly the same one, except your one's got Betfair and Matchroom on it. But I know
what else?
I know that you've probably said to him, "Yeah, iFILM London have got one of them. Make sure we get one of them." I know that's happened.
I think I've got enough on my plate to worry about fucking microphone bobbleheads or whatever they are.
Well, they're important. It means we can do stuff like
that.
Easy.
What's the matter?
Easy. Nothing. You ready?
That was good.
All right. Now listen, we're all working together anyway. Ish.
What about that picture you sent me yesterday?
Shall I show them the picture? Let's get it out. Right there. Hold on a minute. This is the picture that Eddie really didn't want me to.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You went to me.
I was on a plane. I was like, it was about 5 o'clock in the morning. You want to take photos of me? Stick cameras up my noses.
Can we get that, James? What do we think? This is why people think you're a bit the other way.
What? No, because it was 6 o'clock in the morning and you're taking photos of me on a plane.
Pouting.
Pouting? I'm not. I'm going like that.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
You're fucking bellhead.
Right.
Anyway,
Eddie,
nice to see you got a couple of parody accounts now.
I've got 3 parody accounts. Ali really didn't want any, but I knew your conversation the other day.
I stuck up for you the other day.
With what?
Someone was talking about you and they went, what's that Kugan Cassius like, blah, blah, blah. And I went, no, he's all right, he's a top man. He went, he's coming across like, all of a sudden, from being a nice guy who goes around reporting around the scene to a bit of an arrogant arsehole. And now he's got these parody accounts, blah, blah, blah. And I said, that wasn't true. I said, he's not like that. So I hope you do the same.
Who was that?
I can't say it was, but...
You answer all our questions on iFILM London. Who was that?
Listen, it would put me in an awkward position. All they said, they don't know you, but they just said, you're getting big for your boots, and all of a sudden you got these hits. You used to be a real nice guy. Now you want like your own room at the shows. You want like your own couch and stuff like that. And iFILM London, water, and stuff like that.
Curtis Woodhouse, if you're watching, I'm going to call you later on.
That was good, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Big up, Curtis
No,
Woodhouse.
but seriously, despite all your success, award-winning, you know, and all the views you're getting, you just got to keep your feet on the ground. It's important because there are people talking at the moment.
Coming from the smug promoter, this is Kugan Cassius for iFILM London with @HeADDieHEARNS.
Yeah, nice one.
For iFILM London.
iFILM.